again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I want to wish all of you a happy Wednesday, right? Thank you, and blessings, greetings to all of you who are showing up already here, those who are saying hi, welcoming you. I am welcoming all of you. I was wondering about that. I have not blasted that out with the bass boosted. It might be good at all. Happy Wednesday to us all. I've got some ideas, some topics, some thoughts I want to share. I'm not sure how long or what exactly to go, where this is going to go, but my heart is filled. My heart is filled with peace. Over the last couple of days, rather than focusing on my preparation, refining my quality, doing a better job for these live streams, I got distracted. I did. I got distracted again. Other things were in my head. And so I've got some notes, but today as I was looking at this, preparing for the live stream and, the monologue where I would start with, I'm looking at my notes and I'm thinking, golly geez, man, these are just some more abstract thoughts. Thoughts about thoughts and observations on thoughts. And, sometimes I realize I can get a little intellectual. There I'm repeating myself. I can get pretty abstract in my thoughts, and a lot of mind comes through and a little less heart. But I do know the way to really connect, for me to connect with you, is to share my heart. And so if you can open your heart, you can understand what I'm saying. And if you want to, you can follow along. It might make sense. So we'll start with, in the background, is just a reminder, the trademark, live fearlessly, live without fear. The thumbnail is today. Really, what a privilege it is to be overwhelmed by a life once prayed for. And there's some thoughts about that I can break down. I can unpack that a little bit. But if you just think about it, wherever you are today, wherever I am today, it's a result of choices we've made, right? And so if we find ourselves overwhelmed today, then we can recognize, hey, it's where I wanted to be. And if you don't realize that you are where you want to be, well, you may think that's not where you want to be, but at some point you wanted to be where you were. Otherwise, you would not be there. And something simple, the challenges of today, they are in relation to past choices. And each choice has brought you to where you are today. Today's choices bring you closer to where you may go. Where do you want to go? Where have you been? What do you think of the choices that brought you to where you are today? Because if you got a poor opinion on the choices that brought you to where you are today, you may not enjoy today. I've spent so many days not enjoying where I was. I spent so many days feeling overwhelmed, not realizing where I was exactly where I had chosen to be. For example, back when I had a career at the Postal Service, man, I dreaded going to work each day. It was not something I was excited about doing, but I had to go, right? Because I had to earn a paycheck. And that's true. You got to earn your way. You got to get paid and you got to share your value to get rewards, because we live in a world where money controls everything. Oh, and that gets me going too. Let's stay on topic, Jack. The news of today, the news that's out there today in this world of corruption. Where was I going? Back when I had a career and the job and the routine, I felt no joy. Why? Because I had limited myself. In my mind, my options became limited. My options became limited because I limited myself. I felt trapped because I was just facing all the things I had to do. And if you're always facing the things you have to do, it can get overwhelming. I mean, those things stack up. There's a lot of things you got to do in order to be a human. I mean, just the basic things of diet, nutrition, exercise, hygiene, those things take time, let alone cleaning up, maintenance of any property or any toys you got. Things add up and life can be overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be. It may hit those times and it may hit those periods where it does stack up. In the past, though, I had to recognize, right, that job that I dreaded going to, who applied for it? Who asked to be hired? Who was excited to go through the orientation and to be given a badge and a title and all that? I was all excited to do that. And then I slipped into the routine and I fell into the limited options of what I had to do. And I forgot to look at what I get to do. Because if you want freedom, the topic today, breaking down choices and freedoms, this is where we might get a little abstract, right? The greatest freedom that we have is the freedom to choose. But what can you choose? Where do your choices come from? The freedom to choose comes from the options that are in your awareness, nothing more. If there's options that are not in your awareness, you don't know about them. And if you don't know about them, you don't get to choose them. You only get to choose from what you are aware of. And the awareness, any choice that's in your awareness, any choice that comes into your mind as an idea, it includes what has been learned, what has been understood, or what has been considered. So if your options are limited by awareness, for example, what is learned or understood or considered, where was I going with that? If we don't look beyond what we might have learned, if we don't continue expanding our awareness, if we don't continue learning, if we don't continue understanding, continue considering, right? Greater than what we used to have, that's when we feel trapped. That's when we feel limited. But if you focus on what you get to do, realizing that every choice comes with a consequence, right? Every choice is a decision, and a decision turns our direction. It cuts everything else out of the way. Once you make a choice, you cut away. That's why I heard a definition of decision, like an incision is a cut, a decision is a cut, right? You're cutting away everything else. You're limiting your focus into that direction. So every choice and every decision is a cause, and every cause brings us to an effect. And that's what time in life is all about. One cause into effects. Bear with me. Got noise jumping up. I have I got a couple live streams going today. There's a lot going on today. Let me get through my stuff and then I'll get to the other stuff. That's my plan. That was my plan. This was the thought that I considered earlier today regarding the freedoms and the choices that we get. We are free to choose, and we are free to accept the consequences or deny the consequences. We're free to pay attention, to understand, to comprehend, to learn, or we're free to ignore, to deny, to refuse. Every choice, whether it's consciously made or unconsciously made, is a choice that leads us to where we go. Anything is possible when you believe that anything is possible. And as it's written in the big book, or the good book, the Holy Bible, through God, all things are possible. So if you can feel yourself to be with God, then you can know that anything is possible. And if you can feel and believe that anything is possible, then it opens your mind, right? It expands your awareness and your thoughts so that you might think beyond just the limited ideas that the society might throw at you. I am not flowing today. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this already. I want to apologize, actually. The only thing worse than doing a job is applying for one. That's for sure, man. It really is. Not having one is probably worse than having one. But here, part of the distraction I had, some little promotion, I guess, is today, true to my heart, right? The peace movement for the past 109 days. There has been a group of monks, if you haven't heard of them, a group of monks have walked for 2,300 miles every day, getting up and walking from Fort Worth, Texas to Washington, D.C. And today they made it to Washington, D.C., the Walk for Peace. They've got a meditation going on at the George Washington University as well. It's starting up, and that's what the noise was, if you heard me. The option of peace. Oops, let me do this. This practice of peace, the walk that they made, 2,300 miles. These guys aren't young either. I mean, most of them are older than me, and I'm not that young anymore. But this group of men, Buddhist monks, committed to sharing the message of peace, sharing the message of unity. Hey, blessings to you, Andy. Thank you. And yes, happy to see everyone. I'm glad to see you all. I really am. Thank you. And I really considered going to meet them. I did. But the idea of just being in the midst of the crowds, of being a bystander and a viewer watching the show, I can tune in from home, to be honest. And it's cold out there. And I didn't feel like going out in the cold to watch them when I was able to tune in online. If I thought I was going to, if I thought there was an opportunity to interact with them or to have conversations, I'd certainly make my way. But I do want to promote the idea because their message is each day, let today be my peaceful day. Let today be your peaceful day, and awaken with that idea tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day. Let today be my peaceful day. Today is my peaceful day. And if you allow your day to be peaceful, guess what? It is, right? But it takes practice, and things happen that are outside of your control. You can't always control what happens. Actually, that's kind of what this is right there. The gentleman holding the microphone. He's the one, he got on early in their path. I think they may have still even been in Texas. There's a car that ran into him, and that young man, that gentleman there, he lost his leg, almost died on the walk. So things happen in our lives. So things may not always appear or be peaceful, but if you can keep peace in your heart, then you can know that peace is your purpose. And if you know your purpose is peace, I've got it ready. There's been many speeches, so I'm assuming if you mean the one from today, these guys move me. The idea of peace, and this is the thing that's been so amazing. There's been millions of people, not just in America, but all around the world. They've learned of this. They've been following this, paying attention to this. And I tell you what, if today is not a day for peace in our world, It's time. It is time for peace to prevail. In my head is news, right? I pay attention to the world and what's going on in the world, or at least I try to. And when I see the way that the world is right now, we have fallen. America has fallen. The whole world is in such a state. Um, when I say America has fallen, I'm referring to this bullshit that our government is doing regarding the support of conflicts, the militarization that's going on around the world, the support of the genocide that's happening in Gaza, right? The ignoring of what's going on elsewhere. There's conflicts all around this world, and the American public is just, I don't know what's going on with the American public, but I see that America has fallen. And it's time. We've got pedophiles, human trafficking, child trafficking happening in evil scales, in scales that the average people just does not consider. But I believe that what's happening in the news with the Epstein files and the cover-ups, I hope it's getting people to wake up. I hope it's getting people to open their heads and open their eyes to what's going on, to ask questions. Because if the world is going to change, it's going to change through us. We have the options. While we are alive, we have the options to bring the change that this world deserves. And this world is ready for more peace, more kindness, more compassion. Let it be with you. Let peace, kindness, and compassion be with you. Let you be the message of peace, kindness, and compassion wherever you go. Let that be your purpose as you do what you do, as you go where you go. Even though life may feel overwhelming sometimes, right? It really is a pleasure or a privilege to be overwhelmed by a life once prayed for. And at some point, perhaps you prayed to be where you are. At some point, perhaps your parents prayed for you to be, right? All of us come from this lineage of people, ancestors, time, challenges, and opportunities. Every one of us is carrying around problems and talents and gifts. We all have a purpose of being. Austin, you had a question, you had a comment the other day. I want you, please, not just you, but I'm using you as an example, my brother, because you're a good dude, man, and you're here. If this is God's plan, then that means we don't have free will. One or the other. That was a comment I think came from you yesterday. And then you've got a resistance to you. I can see you're kind of pushing back on the idea of a loving creator, a loving God that's with us. But I believe truly that God has given us the freedom to choose. Okay? But it's only a clear mind that can choose. Otherwise, if you don't have a clear mind, then we run off patterns. We run off these systems, these programs that God instilled within us earlier in our lives. And this world we live in, the political divides, the economic divides, all of the divides that mankind has imagined and supported, it's all been used against us to keep us divided, internally and externally. That the reason we have internal and external divides is so the class of Epsteins and Peter Thiels and Musks and Trumps and Obamas and Clintons and all these other people of influence and power, they profit from this crap. I don't like that. Golly geez, I'm feeling a bit emotional today, aren't I? I am feeling, my emotions, I think, are coming through for me. Snafu. I would felt in an effort of kindness, I thought I would unblock a few of your monikers and allow you to be present here. And you're just going to show up with your same confusion and your same looping nonsense, dude. Snafu, why don't you look at you, buddy? Um, hey, someone said something about, where was that? Netanyahu. Yeah, I didn't pull it up. I didn't pull it up, but I saw in the news last night that there was like a presidential convoy going on, all this police protection for this war criminal, this criminal Netanyahu coming to visit the president again. We got ICE kidnapping and arresting U.S. citizens, threatening them with violence, actually shooting people. There's not just threats. There's violence upon the American citizens by federal agents, and we got police escorts for criminals coming in to talk to criminals. Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files. How many times? I'm not an expert. I'm not here to report the news, but brothers and sisters, man, what are we going to do? That's what I'm wondering. What are we going to do? Let me get back to some of my notes and some of my ideas, right? Because the freedom to choose from options in our awareness. If you are like me in that you have learned of the story of Yeshua, the example of Jesus, right? The ministry and the gospel, the good news that was brought. This was a man from long ago given to the world as an example of righteousness, mercy, forgiveness, compassion. True love was lived through that. I felt blessed to have learned of Jesus, of Yeshua. Why don't we, if it's true that we have the ability to choose from what is in our awareness, we have the awareness of mercy, forgiveness, compassion, right? Not just through Jesus, but through so many divine examples have been given to mankind for all of us to learn from, to learn of, so that we can embody those qualities for ourselves. If you choose, you can. I trust you can. It's not always easy. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's always easy to forgive. It's not always easy to find mercy. It's not always easy to find forgiveness. It's really easy to find reasons not to forgive, not to have mercy, right? We got to make sure they get punished. Got to make sure they get hurt, right? We got to make sure they get the same pain that I felt. I used to think like that. It used to be all about, prison systems and punishment and correction and enforcement and regulation and policies and rules. I used to believe in all that stuff. Not anymore. I know it exists. I'm not a fool. I'm not in denial. But where my mind goes is in the name of and in the ways of Yeshua. Jesus. There you go, flesh, who had the Holy Spirit within. Emmanuel, God with us in the flesh. And thank you. A clear mind doesn't need or want programming. No one can clear your mind but you. That's the thing, right? What are you going to do? How do you know if your mind is clear or not? How do you know if you've considered enough? Another path, right? Our hearts will hurt sometimes Betrayal happens. Loss is real, right? It's part of this human experience. This human experience brings all these emotions into being. Oh, where did I see that? Wonder. Something I saw earlier today, if I kept it. Energy can observe the universe, but only a human can feel a hug, right? Only a body can taste a meal. Only a heart can break open with love. That is why we came here, to feel life, not escape it. Those aren't my words. It's something I came across earlier today, but I don't have it ready. It just seems right. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person. Forgiveness is given for your own benefit. And where I was going with that, no one can clear your mind but you. No one can heal your heart but you. But through the power of a clear mind, right? Choosing what you want, having the awareness of what you want. And if you allow what you want to be, if you allow yourself to want peace, peace from the hurt, peace from the anger, peace from the pains of betrayal or loss, you can, right? We have the power through our mind to will ourselves beyond. By God's grace, perhaps. I mean, I know what I've experienced for myself, and I find that we're all built pretty similar. I don't think myself to be anything special or anything above anyone else. When I say we can, it's because I can. And if I can, I believe you can, because I have faith in you, just like I got faith in me. And my faith in me comes my faith in God. And I know God is with you, just as God is with me, as we are to be with God. So allow God's love to be with your awareness, so that maybe your heart can feel the wholeness and feel the healing that you are. If you allow your mind to be with a loving creator, with loving thoughts, it does miracles to settle the conflict, to settle the mud, right? And that's the path of enlightenment. The path of enlightenment for each of us is a mind that is clear and a heart that is full, right? A heart that's filled with love. The problems and the thoughts that the mind worries about, if your heart is filled with love, then those thoughts of worry and separation, the fears and the angers, they don't have the power they used to. I like this two parts. Mind is the programming. The state of no mind is absolute clarity. It sounds backwards, but that is spot on. The state of no mind is clarity, pure awareness, like a mirror, simply reflecting, not judging, not concentrating, no activity except seeing in silence. That's written by someone who I think knows. I think you know. Thank you. That's well presented. Wait a minute. Waiting place for some. You referred to also tells exactly where you go the instant you pass from this realm. Oh, Luke 16. Lazarus and the rich man. Tells about the void gulf that is right now. When I read the rich man, it got me to thinking about this other passage I was looking at earlier today. It was in Matthew, though. Where did it go? The idea of with God, all things are possible. But I may have been taking this out of context, because this is talking about Jesus said to his disciples, "Truly I tell you, it's hard for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of heaven." Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of God. When the disciples heard this, they were greatly astonished and asked, who then can be saved? Who then can be saved? Jesus looked at them and said, with man, this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. And this thought I came to earlier, anything is possible. When you believe, anything is possible. So allow yourself to be with God in your mind, in your heart, so that you can feel that anything is possible. And if anything is possible from the here and now, because here and now is the only time you are, and it's always here and now, as long as you are. But if you allow yourself to be in the here and now with a mind absent, just a filled awareness of God and love and a heart that's open to anything being possible, then you can be here and now with the knowing that anything is possible, and it opens you up to anything and everything. So be prepared to be surprised, and I think that's what miracles are all about. I believe the plan for us all, back to this question, if this is God's plan, then that means we don't have free will. It's one or the other. That was a comment from yesterday. I believe the plan for us all, the plan for humanity, you and me and everybody else, as time develops, as people move forward in time, I believe the plan is for all of us to choose righteousness. Righteousness is always a choice. But then you got to figure out, what is righteous? What does that mean? Where is that? Righteousness. The quality of moral uprightness, virtue, conformity to divine or ethical laws. Righteousness, being in a right relationship with God, characterized by justice, holiness, obedience to his commands. If you take the words of Jesus to be true, the commandment is to love, right? So to be righteous is to be with love, to choose righteousness, which is always a choice. It's to choose love. Love is a mystery, it's a power, it's a force. But love is what life is about. Absent from love, life loses meaning. And I've been in that spot, and it sucks. When life loses meaning, you want to go. You want nothing to do with life. And I've been there. I've been there, done that, and don't want to go back. So I'll give everything I've got for love. Matter of fact, I kind of have. Because, see, I fell in love with the world. And I know you're not supposed to. The Bible says, let the world be the world. Fall in love with God. But I did. I fell in love with God first. And then I figured, well, I'm here and I have a love for God. So what does God want me to do? I believe God wants me to love the world that God created. And the world that God created is perfect. It's perfection. What man has created is abhorrent. What man has created is these rules of governments and politics and economics and all the divisions that we can imagine mankind has created. We've created divisions based on color, gender, economics, religion, different birth, right? Wherever on the soil, the Mother Earth, where we're born at, those are divisions for us, right? Nationalities, ancestors. Mankind has created all sorts of divisions. We don't have to be that way. I do believe that the future that we are here to create is for us to choose righteousness together. After all, we have the freedom. We have the freedom to choose good or evil. But if you know If you know what is right and you know what is true, why would you choose anything else? See, it's what I've said before. Nothing prevents those who know from doing what is right. Nothing. Nothing prevents those who know from doing what is right. But what prevents someone from knowing? It's another part of the question, right? And knowing is going to be what is known in the awareness. What has someone learned? What has someone understood? What has someone considered? If we haven't experienced something, we may not know of it, right? We may not have learned it. We may not understand it. If we haven't learned of it, if we haven't understood it, we're not going to consider it. So the key is to know. Snafu, dude, yeah. You tell me, thank you. Let's just get rid of Snafu again. I don't mind. Feel free to ban him. Timing him out is one thing. He doesn't listen. Snafu, he will learn to humble himself. It's a path for us all. You know what? I realized I'm quick to recognize my own shortcomings, and I'm feeling that. I've admitted that a little bit earlier today. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link and make it available for those who wish to join. If you have questions or comments regarding anything I've said today or previously, any questions or comments regarding the topic today, we'll open it up. We'll open it up for a little bit. Not sure how long we'll keep running. I think, hey, welcome. Got a guest in the back, and I think I've seen you before recently. Welcome to you.
What's going on, pal? We met on Club Exile the other day. We talked about.
That was you.
That was me. Good to I tracked you down. I stalked you, sir. Good to see you.
I'm glad you did. And you're showing up with the People's Podcast. Is that what you are? Is that your channel?
No, I stopped in there today. Just read. Did they add that to my thing?
Yeah.
How do I change that?
Here, I'll drop that off. It's in the edit the name. We had someone yesterday show up with the People's Podcast as well. And that's why I was like, wow, okay, so maybe that's you. But you go by El Him?
El Him, the dude. It's too many weirdos on the internet. Yeah. You can call me by my name. My name is Ray.
Ray, thank you.
You and I had a pretty, I would say, a fairly productive dialogue the other day.
Dude, if I remember, you're involved with helping others. I don't know, is it limited to men? Helping men recover and heal, or?
I'm a married guy, so I keep a pretty strong boundary between we have a female component to the ministry, but I tend to keep it at a very surface level.
Good. But the point is you support people in their recovery and in their own development, I guess, right?
Whatever that looks like for them. Yeah, that would be accurate.
Good on you. I was impressed with what I heard from you, and I appreciate it. And if you want, if you're willing to share for the folks who are tuned in what you do, I'd welcome that again. It would help my mind remember too.
My wife's walking downstairs. I think my dog's. Oh, that's not my wife. That's where are you going? Oh, okay, very cool. But, I'm actually talking to someone on the internet about people that I try to do what we did. He's a bashful guy. I'm not gonna make him say he just did the about face. He's about to book it right now.
Hey, no worries. I know I didn't.
He's one of us. What you need? I'll be right back, Jack. Give me 2 minutes.
No worries. Thank you. I appreciate that. from what I remember, I think he said it was Ray. I'll let him do more to introduce himself, but it seemed to me he helped people who've had troubled pasts or maybe recovering from addiction, helping others get back on their feet and helping them, move forward into this society. Thank you. I think that's what it was. Faith-based rehab along those lines. So, in the meantime, I'm going to, with a very, very, very short leash, okay? But only because I'm going to bring up Snafu, but only because he and we started to have what I felt was a healthy conversation the other day, but then he got a call and then I didn't hear from him again. And then I'm seeing stuff in the chat. So it's going to be, there's evidence, good and bad. I'm going to give it let's see how well you can behave today. What are you bringing, Snafu?
Just a simple question, and then you freak out. How is that fair to people? Like, you make these claims and these narratives, and then when people ask questions to your claims and narratives, you freak out on them. You backstage them. You treat people with a simple question.
Rather than your complaint, let's move beyond your complaint. What is the question you want me to answer?
I said, how do people who have own issues in their life, and I'm not going to say them, but we've monitored them for a while with you particularly, think that they could help others when they can't even help themselves? That's a fair question, right? And now you're shaking your head no, but you're the one making the claims and the narrative, so I can't ask these questions?
Hold on. I'm answering, but you don't like my answer.
Well, go ahead and answer, because you've been asked this question by many people other than Snafu Snap.
I muted you so I can answer the question. Okay. Your limited views, and actually we've got Ray returning back. Maybe I'll just swap you out. But I want to
maybe he should look into the real optics of you and your
tell you what, I'm going to answer you first. Okay. So what I'm pointing out with you is you've got a very narrow view. Okay. You've got a belief that because someone has problems, they can't help someone else. That's not true. And if you don't know
that I could agree with in a sense, but some of the problems that you make claims to help, you suffer yourself. A life coach that's life in shambles.
It depends on the perspective you look at. See, if you want to look at,
do you feel your life is?
If you want to look at the material, right, the world, which is temporary, the world standards, you want to look at my bank account or my, social activity. Sure, I'm not winning. But if you want to look at my spiritual alignment, you want to look at my practice of inner peace, of joy, of happiness, of freedom, dude.
No, I feel that you're deflecting and trying to hide your issues by trying to fix others. It's like the Captain Navajo optics, right? It's like these guys who choose these broken bitches and think they can fix these broken bitches.
Keep it here, please. Other people are not me. All right. And I'm happy to discuss me.
And you could let the other guy up if you want. Might as well have everyone. That way a new perspective could be in here, because he doesn't know your past or optics or lies that you tell the public.
Actually, you know what? This gentleman appears to have just a solid mind, right? And a heart that cares. So perhaps if you can't, maybe, you know what? Maybe he can help me if he's willing.
Yeah, maybe he can help you be. Maybe he can help you be accountable.
Pause, please. We got it. I muted you, Ray, because I think you got a tab open with the YouTube. We're getting an echo coming through, so I muted you until you get that.
He probably had the he was listening to us as he was on.
Yeah. We'll get it.
Probably should have just left him on so he could have tested it to see if it was working or not, Jack.
He dropped. He dropped.
Okay.
He'll be. Yeah.
Look, I came in here asking a fair question. Wasn't even saying, "Oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're lying, and then you get mad backstage, normal shit." And a fair question, the grandiose claims you make, you should expect questions back.
Please stop. Let's take a breath. Okay. Because we don't have to fight. Okay. Let's see if today.
I'm not fighting.
Let's see if today can be the day where we break through and we find agreements. And through those agreements, we can find peace. Oh, peace, man. Wouldn't that be fun? It's Ray, right? Is that what you said?
Snafu, are you familiar with what it means to have a debate or an argument in good faith?
I do.
That's all I ask anybody when I have a dialogue is that they enter into good faith, whatever your issues are.
Are you also familiar with hug a buddy, fuck a buddy optics and white knighting and tribalism? Like versus realism versus truth, yo.
So I'm going to say, like, I was about to introduce myself and say hello and exchange pleasantries. That's the opposite of good faith, brother.
No, see now you're cupcake and acting. No. Now this motherfucker's cupcake.
Your discernment is flawed.
No, my discernment is perfectly over target.
No.
Is there a reason you don't feel comfortable showing your face, Snafu?
I actually show my face quite a bit. Maybe do your research.
I asked a question. I didn't say you don't. I said, is there a reason? That's again going back to the good faith idea.
Good faith with Snafu that's a.
I could show you my attention. I could give him all my attention plus the strike team's attention. Does he really want my attention?
How about we practice good faith? How about, tell you what, Matthew? Please, why don't you offer what good faith means to you? You know, you wanted to go in, we started down the path of good faith and you directed us to the hug a buddy, fuck a buddy.
That's a good faith question. I asked you still are deflecting from the answer to that question. You kind of knit it because you're right. I agree with you on one point that people still could help people. All right, of course, you're not going to let me finish. Go ahead. Put in the narratives. Fill it up. Fill in the blank.
Take a pause, please. Slow down. You're coming across as pretty anxious, and it seems like you're trying to control and direct. All right, and I don't want to fight you over controlling the conversation, but I'd rather us lead the conversation with good faith, and I think that's where Ray was starting. He was trying to introduce himself to you. And he doesn't know you.
I know exactly who Ray is and his channel and what they do. We monitor all these fucks mostly. So I know exactly what he's about and what he does online.
Congratulations. Now can we let him speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
What kind of fucks do you moderate and observe?
Everyone in the DEX are in our community. And I'm sure you don't even know what DEX is.
I have no idea what it is.
Right. It's called the digital experience.
Oh, okay. I had the only thing I've ever done on YouTube is I had a channel where I used to hunt and expose bad people.
Yeah, that's how I know you. Yes, that's why I'm not freaking out on you like I would normally newbies, because you actually do call these predators out when we, and that's what we do. We expose criminals, traitors, frauds, pedophiles, criminal racketeering rings, and scammers. And by the way, Cage is backstage.
Not anymore.
Why can't
He's not welcome? He's not welcome here. He's worn out his welcome worse than you have, believe it or not. And actually,
you don't want to love him. You don't want to be.
You've worn out your welcome, Snafu. Tell you what. You're back to where Cage is at. Both of you are welcome to contact me privately. You know how to do so. You've both done it before. And when you prove to me that you can sit through an actual polite conversation, I might bring you back on the panel. But until then, I don't want either of you here.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
I just want to say that the L Him is under arrest for stealing my mustache.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, pal.
That was quick. Good
That
for
was
you,
quick.
brother.
That was quick. We got your number. Just like Snafu said, I'm not with him, but here at Mustache Man MM, we got your number.
I'm glad. Does the mustache pass the sniff test? Do I get to the second level of the multi-marketing, the MLM?
I want it to be. I like it a little long. I like it. Whenever they tell me it's too long, that's when I know it's just.
So
right.
I usually have like a handlebar, but I had a pretty nasty accident on my motorcycle, and my wife made me sell that, and she says that I'm already unattractive enough as it is, and with the handlebar, I've been going through a lot, MM. It's been a tough. 2026 has been weird. 2025 was worse.
Okay.
It's got dark, man. But
Yeah, it's like a Tyler Perry movie in Baltimore. You know what I mean?
I don't. But I'll take.
You said
it.
it's dark. It was an off-color joke. That's just. You don't know who Tyler Perry is?
I
Holy
certainly
cow.
do, but man, it's zingers are getting me.
I
gotta
know.
jump up. I gotta drink some Coke real quick. Hold on.
You gotta be on your toes.
So I do want to reference something that Snafu said, because he kind of made a. I can understand his point on at least one thing. Let me give one of my little dogs a snack so they stop.
Is that him
Roaring
right
the-
there, right now, barking?
Say again?
No.
That's not Snafu barking. Okay.
No, that's my little. I got a couple little
Snafu.
mongrels
Yep.
here. When he said that unwell people can't help people, that's not an opinion that's unpopular across the masses. I almost can't even be upset with him for feeling that way. I would venture to say that, intuition would lead people to believe that's probably truer than it is false. And there are a lot of people that are opportunists, and if he has a sincere desire to, expose.
Is that an 8-blade fan?
Yeah, that's a 1, 2, 3.
This guy's full of mysteries.
Yeah, that's an 8-blade fan.
Never seen that before either.
Oh,
He's cool, man.
have you ever seen a Valentine's Day tree? This is what my wife is ridiculous. We don't even take down the Christmas tree. She turns it into a Valentine's Day.
Dude,
True.
that's beautiful. I love it.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate Christmas.
Well, it's not Christmas. It's Valentine's Day.
It's like dragging out Christmas more than we already have to. It's like, well, no, January wasn't enough. Let's bring it to February. Let's call it March. Let's call it a. Hey, I ask what my brain thinks.
You pick and choose your battles.
He
I gotta go into the man lair because the hounds are being ridiculous.
Hey, I appreciate you, man.
Welcome to the Palace of Gains, everybody.
Dude, nice setup. That is great.
Well, when you're 40 years old and you want to stay strong, it's you gotta cut corners where you can. And
Me and Jack don't know what that means to stay strong.
oh,
No, I used to be bigger. I used to be a lot bigger than I am, but
I used to be fatter than I am.
well, that too. I was that as well. But I lost a lot of the size with the weight.
yeah, just you were asking before, Jack. I provide alternative housing, like outside of the machine of sober living, which is, in my experience, not always the best environment for people to change or get well. The guy who I actually had to leave the panel for, he's kind of like a little brother. He's staying with me. He's going through. This is my house. Like he's like, I don't normally take people here, but he's. Nobody gets there alone. You do what you can, and I don't mind talking about it. I just don't like talking about what I do, if that makes sense. I don't mind talking about the industry of helping people. It's not even like a private thing. It just, you're not supposed to like peacock and say, hey.
Gotcha.
And then we found a couple of companies that will hire people with, just call it a checkered past.
The panelverse types.
What is the Panelverse types?
Checkered past.
Well,
Well, I mean, it's funny. I'm a sober guy. I told Jack that, I'll be honest, but I was a party guy and a drinker. I never really went to the dark. So a lot of the guys that I spend time with, the hard drugs seem to take them different places.
Can I ask you a maybe inappropriately blunt question?
Go
To
ahead.
you, Jack. Well, it's I guess both of you. Do you feel like he's got some skeletons in his closet? Not real life ones, but I don't know. I'm sensing a little bit of I want to get to know the real you, Mr. Elhim. What are we missing? Where are you? Because I mean, we can't all be the most perfect people in the world. So where do you struggle?
I think I was kind of getting there, and then you just jumped on it as if you were doing some earth-shattering expose.
Well, no, because if it's pre-planned, if it's scripted, then it's already in the
Oh.
cards. What's the real version?
Let's see where he goes. He was.
Is this like your best version of being like a '90s like afternoon ride home radio host, like in a bad '90s movie? Because I like you, but it's coming across.
The defensiveness screams volumes, my friends. So
What's
Holy
screams volumes?
cow.
the defensiveness.
Oh, I don't see that.
That's
I
okay.
really
You don't have
don't.
to.
He was on the path of introducing himself in his way, and I'm sure. Please continue, Ray. You're involved with providing alternative options and options.
That's not my job. It's I didn't actually set out to do it. It just kind of happened. We built a house and then we were moving someplace else, and I thought we were going to have to like sell one to buy one, and that was not the case. And I opened up one, and that turned into another, and hopefully it'll turn into a third here pretty soon. So my past, man, I would say from 2003 to probably 2013, I spent a lot of time in nightclubs and bars and chasing women and, barroom, male bravado, all that dumb shit, chasing all the earthly pleasures. Yeah, there's no skeletons. Just a really uncentered life that went nowhere, headed nowhere, and was probably going to end sooner than it should have if I didn't become an adult.
So was there a defining moment, a catalyst for you that said,
No, the last night was actually really uneventful. I tried to make some changes on my own and I couldn't. And I think the last night was like four Coors Lights at an empty bar by myself. I wish I could give you like some really cool story, like where the last night was like some epic, Guy Ritchie film, but no, it was pretty soft.
interesting?
But I mean, it's if you're not a good person, like the emotional pain to carry that around. You don't even have to be an evil person. Just not being a good person is enough to, kind of just kill a man.
That's actually very insightful. You don't have to be bad and evil, but just not being good. Our conscience it'll punish us because our conscience knows what's good and bad. Even if our conscience, even if our conscious mind isn't aware fully of what we're doing. That's interesting. And so you started turning yourself around, and then things happened and you found an opportunity to give back and to help others. And that's grown for you. That sounds magical. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, like making food at the house on the weekend for the fellas, doing whether it's a poker night or like a camping week, just dumb stuff. I think most of us, we all want to be like 14 again from time to time. Like somebody said that we don't stop playing because we get old because we stop playing. So I just, however long, we have, I just want to enjoy life. And it's easy for me to say that, I got a nice house. I got a little bit of, I have a decent career. So, money's, like have you ever been financially handcuffed in your life?
What do you mean by handcuffed?
Like, have you ever struggled financially?
Every day.
Oh, even to this moment?
Oh, especially at this moment, dude.
Oh,
It's a never-ending battle.
I was gonna. It's what is it? Maslow's got that hierarchy of needs. You tell a man like you have to grow emotionally, but he doesn't have money for a chicken burrito at Chipotle for lunch, it's kind of hard and it's a little bit hypocritical. So,
Yeah.
like you were asking the
It's a
scale.
fine balance, because if you have too much, you can, because that's why there's so many rich kids who don't do anything because they just don't need to. And then you get stuck in that realm. So you had to like really figure out just the right, it's like a recipe. It's like, chicken soup, just the right amount of ingredients.
Life is an amazing adventure. My own path, I hit my rock bottom, but I was blessed. My rock bottom wasn't as low as many others. I was a functioning alcoholic, but I was in such a poor state of mind and in such a poor state internally. My spirit was void of happiness and joy, and I wanted to die for a long time. And I didn't, and I couldn't. And then I got sick of being sick and finally chose to try and change. And once I started changing and I started finding the improvements, seeing the improvements of actually taking more ownership of my life, more accountability for myself, becoming more responsible for my feelings and my thoughts, I got kind of addicted to the idea. And self-development.
Can I ask you an inappropriate question? Maybe an inappropriate question, but it's kind of in the vein of what we're talking about.
Please.
Well, I said to MM specifically because I already know the answer for you.
There you go. Any objection?
Oh, me? No, of course not.
Oh, okay. No, it's again, good faith. It's when you're not living a good life and when you start questioning like what reason is there to go, I don't think a lot of people necessarily have self-harm ideation. They just don't want to live the way they're living, and sometimes it's not easy to see the difference between those two concepts. Can we agree that's at a base level somewhat true?
You're saying that it kind of went over my head. You're saying that
I want to be respectful of the TOS. That's why I'm trying to. Do you have
so you're saying ending your is just is similar to what?
There's a difference between wanting to end it and not wanting to continue the way you're going. And I think especially for men, sometimes it's not like we confuse one for the other. Like we don't even.
And I think that is true until you really get to a certain place and I do believe that I fortunately can speak in this position because when I was going through the digestive sickness that I went through and no doctor could give me any answers, I thought, man, I wish I was going through withdrawals from drugs. I wish I had some sort of like tangible, this is what's causing this to point to. And I did, every day I was like, okay, I'm going to end it tomorrow. And then I would make it to tomorrow. And then, no, it's going to be the next day, just always putting it off a little bit. And when you get out of that, I think it really changes your mindset. So you really do know the difference between the two.
And people, so when you were asking like the skeletons in the closet, like that's the biggest skeleton is, you could sleep with, a couple of pretty girls in the month, hang out behind the velvet ropes and a VIP. You're getting everything in the world that, TV and Maxim magazine said that a guy's supposed to have. And if you're still left so like unfulfilled or incomplete, it's, I call that like, it's Suboxone for like a spiritual experience. I think that's why
I've never been with a woman, so I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. Are you waiting for marriage? Are you a gay brother of ours? What's the?
No, sometimes I just can't help myself. I don't know. I don't know.
You're lying to me, aren't you, MM?
I prefer to call it comedic relief because it's my way. It's my way of handling uncomfortable situations.
You kind of remind me of a young Owen Benjamin.
Oh man. Just
physically, not your personality, just your disposition.
I swear I'm not a flat earther.
Is he a flat? I know he lost he was big on Rogan back in the day, and then I guess he kind of lost. I'm not the biggest fan of like the YouTube community. I'm reading down the chat. Apparently, all three of us are feds.
Yes. A very wise man said that.
Oh. And that's what when Jack and I were chatting the other day on this dude named Club Exile. I think that a lot of people.
My favorite show. I love Club Exile, by the way.
I think people would be amazed by how many men in the world probably don't have one real friend, and that's a horrifying realization when you think about it.
It's a scary thing about the internet too. It's like you meet all these people, but it really is just like, people get caught up in the little smallest things, and then you never really, because real life friends, dude, it's a really great thing, and I think it's about being too people are too stuck in their corner, right? So they just see everyone else as like, oh, that's like not my people. Like I've been going to church. I don't know if I'm a Christian yet. I kind of want to be. I've met a lot of great people doing it.
I don't think that doubting Thomas or even Mother Teresa, she said she doubted the existence of God every day until she died. And Jordan Peterson has a great line. It's like act as if, he says, act as if God were real. What's the worst thing that can happen while you wait? Was that a decent JBP?
That was great, dude. That was great.
It's no joke, buddy. A dominance hierarchy. It's real.
Yeah. You are I'm appreciating you. I really am. Thank you for joining up.
I'm appreciating that this little L right here. I'm not gonna say it. I got to get better. My I don't know. Sometimes I start a sentence. I'm like, why did you go there? So you guys are inspiring me to be better. So I'm gonna just go ahead and end it there.
All right. Perfect.
Well, I mean, that's I'm in my 40s, man. I got a major surgery on deck. I have a full hip replacement coming up in my early 40s, which sucks. Work can be overwhelming. I counsel a bunch of guys out of my church, and it's my life's not busy. My life is full. I have to recognize the difference between those two things. This past weekend, I had 4 or 5 friends all come up, say, "Hey, you want to go out to lunch? You want to go out for?" And I remember a time when the phone wouldn't ring, and when people isolate, I don't think there's any alternative other than to become bitter and judgmental and resentful. And I don't think we're as complicated as we like to make ourselves out to be.
No, we're not. And see, that's the thing is with homelessness is a recent sort of thing I've been delving into, and many people often go there because it's kind of the rock bottom, right? You got no one left. You're sleeping on the streets. That is truly, I believe, that is only possible if you have a weak network. If you have a strong network, I don't think people let people get there. If you have a strong network, but you got to really maintain it. I mean, you got to. It is like it should be. This sounds crazy, but you should try to have as many connections as you possibly can. Seriously. I think that's a real. If it means something.
You just rolled over a really good point, and you didn't even stop there. It's making friends is easy, keeping them's tough. You made an amazing point in that statement, where you said keeping them around. I forget exactly how you phrased it, but it's easy to make a connection. If you're, how old are you, MM?
29.
You're a little bit young. There was a show called The Real World on MTV in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it's at the surface level you can get along, but then once all the surface things drip away and principles talk, that's where most friendships fade away. And it takes constant pruning and cultivation to maintain a relationship. And I think, like you said, you're hanging. You don't know if you're a Christian yet. That's great. It's there's a guy last night actually in my ministry group. He said, "You belong before you believe," and I'm like, that was a powerful. I'm a doubting Thomas, brother. I'm
That's
kind
how
of
they make you feel. I love it too. I mean, I don't know. I love the small group segments, right? But the big lecture, I just if God, if you're real, why make this so boring? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think God had a mega church back around 25 AD. It was usually him standing on a rock in a pair of flip flops with 12 of his buddies and a couple of disenfranchised prostitutes and tax collectors, and it was much more informal. I think the orthodoxy of faith has kind of left a sour taste in people's mouths.
Yeah, I think that should be the name of his debut album, Standing on a Rock in a Pair of Flip Flops.
That's the go ahead, Jack.
I wanted to swing back to what you were saying previously about the ideation, ideally, whatever, the idea of ending oneself versus the idea of ending the patterns of who we are. That was where I found myself. I thought I wanted to die, but I didn't really want to die. I wanted to change. I just didn't know I wanted to change. I think there's a lot of people that may go through that. And actually, it makes sense. And to tie it to the more recent conversation about faith, for most of my life, I had no faith whatsoever. And then I found myself in rehab, and that kind of opened my mind to the idea of a higher power. And then eventually I started really looking into it and got put into positions where I found myself, I either had to trust that there was something greater for me, or I had to just wallow in my misery.
Well,
as I
in
go on.
that other book that you and I both read, Jack, there's a line that says there were but two alternatives. One was to pick up the spiritual toolkit, lay it at their feet. The other was to go on to the bitter end. And that was, I think the next line it says, and it didn't always prove an easy choice to make. So, I mean, that, even in 100 years ago when they wrote that line, and there's in the movie A Star is Born, Bradley Cooper had it's called Let the Old Ways Die, I think. And there's a line that says, it takes a lot to change a man. Hell, it takes a lot to try. Like, I very seldom, if ever, judge a man by the outcome. But if I see a guy betting on himself, like I'll bet on that man.
People love it, dude. It's a real power. And then it's like a snowball effect. That's why, I mean, at the lowest point, as long as I'm not, sick, dude, I'm going to have a positive attitude. I can't help it.
That's, is it Crohn's? Is it GERD? Do you feel comfortable sharing what it is?
I never knew. They could never tell. I spent $5,000.
Okay.
Nobody told me. They told me it was in my head, that I was depressed. And I still, to this day, I swore to the people on Reddit, the chronic fatigue undiagnosed page, that I would come back to rescue them and tell them that my solution. But I don't really know the solution, because it couldn't just be the suppositories. There's no way. It had to be something else.
Shout out to the G Spot for being an open man. He, I can't read the chat anymore; it's gone. But it said something along the lines of, "I can't believe I'm finding I can't believe I started liking Jack's streams. What has life come to? LMAO."
I think that's credit to you. I'll give credit to you. That way he doesn't
Take the
blame
credit.
me.
Keep the credit.
Oh,
I'll share the credit. 33%.
yeah, all right. I'll share the credit with you as well, because it is all of us.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't need the credit. I just wanted to say 33.
Well, this life we're living, I've lived it without faith in a higher power, and it proved not to help me.
I've lived life without God as God, and I found out it works better with God, Jack. That's
what I found.
If I don't worship something else, I can only worship myself, and there's only so much, pomp and circumstance and, random women and, travel. It's, I tell everybody, if money could beat that disease, Matthew Perry would not have died by himself behind a $20 million house in a hot tub. Philip Seymour, like if you, like, we live in a world where it tells you if you get all these things that, even me, like, I like to lift weights and I'm a kind of a strong guy. And if you see like the ugly side of like the fitness side of YouTube, if you're anything other than like and even the most perfect of the perfect are like, they're chopped down to shreds on a daily basis. Criticism is the lowest form of creativity. And I say that from experience because I spent a long time criticizing. I'd be a guy not holding down a good job, drinking at the end of the bar, telling everybody in the world why they are what they need to do to fix themselves. So you asked me, what's the skeleton in the closet, MM? I was probably one of the biggest, the arrogance and the hypocrisy was, and I was in my 20s. I was a younger man, but I'm glad I'm not, I'm glad I don't live that way anymore.
Amen.
Humility, I truly believe that's the path to maturity. And I actually think that's going to be the solution for mankind. I mentioned earlier my observations on how America has fallen. And we've fallen because we've allowed the prideful, the arrogant, the selfish, and the cruel to be enabled with power. And that power has been rewarded with wealth. And we've got criminals enabling criminals, and we call it government. I think we're
the Bible talked about the Pharisees and the Sadducees, like the again, I kind of go back to that idea of orthodoxy was never. I don't think it was something that was ever meant to. Like when MM down there said that he doesn't like the big group. Like the Bible actually references that. Are you familiar with those? The Pharisees or the Sadducees? MM.
No, they told me
were
about it in
like
the big group.
they were like I'm not the guy. Like I don't wear like faith-based T-shirts out in public.
I was thinking about trying to sell some of those, dude. So maybe you should.
Dude, instead of pay-per-view, we could do pay-per-view. Like start our own merch link. We could sell those. We could sell those sandals called the Air Savior 2.0s. That's
Can you call see if Flow State will get in on this, Jack?
He's the money guy.
I'm reading down in the chat. So apparently my answers are preloaded. So this our dialogue MM has been this was pre-recorded, pre-written.
I know. We all met on FedFinder.com and we pre-planned this beforehand. And we know we can admit it. It's okay. And
then somebody said sobriety cults are weird, and I'm going to say that you're right. Probably 95% of them don't do what it was set out to do. Sobriety cults are not meant to make people submit. They were kind of meant to make people find faith.
A lot of it's free therapy, I think.
Say again?
A lot of it's free therapy.
If it's done incorrectly, yeah. If it's done incorrectly, that's exactly what it turns into.
Free therapy is...
You know what I mean?
Meaning like where it becomes like a trauma dump, like where everyone just complains about everything and we start telling people, who they should date and what they should like. That's when I say free therapy, the therapeutic value is.
That's like Margot. She's like, it's got to be 1 year until that. And I mean, for me, that just seems like so. Who made that number?
Some guy in probably 1948 because he felt like it.
Well, and that's where those the recovery groups are like cults, but that's kind of like the Pharisees and the Sadducees. They get all caught up in the doctrine and the rules, and they lose sight of the purpose. That's been the downside to religion. People get so caught up in the rules. And
can you highlight Dr. D's thing real quick? I want to say thank you to. I've had like 2 positive comments in the chat. If I don't worship, so very simply, I'm a big fan of Occam's razor, Dr. D. I think people get caught up in everybody wants to wax poetically and filibuster and meander. Why use 10 words when 3 will do?
I want to pick your brain on something that you just said, but I totally lost what was said. What were you talking about, Jack, before the D-head comment?
Worshipping the rules.
Yeah. That's what it was. And it's fascinating because we went around in the circle. There's like maybe 10 dudes, and they were all just like, "I've been married for 70 years. I've been with one woman. I only had 3 kids, all from the same woman." And they were all. It's an exaggeration, obviously. It was like 40 to 50, 30, like big chunks of time. And I was like, "You guys look like you're like only 20 years older than me. It's just crazy." And one guy said, "Well, I had a practice marriage, and that's why." And he had to explain away to we're strangers until this point. Well, at least I was. How he had 2 people with kids from 2 separate marriages, and I'm just like, well, I'm wifeless. This is awkward. You know what I mean? Because I do have a child. Am I going to hell? Like, what's going on? And it sort of feels like you're going to set it on fire in there because it is like the rules, man. It's very.
Will I see you here again, MM? I've only got like a very short, limited. Everyone says we're in the same warehouse, so if you could pass me the Doritos, that'd be great.
Yeah, man, you ate them all, dude. Fat ass. Come on, man.
Don't body shame me, you prick. Will I find you over here from time to time? Is this? Are you a normal guest?
Yes.
Okay.
He also has his own channel. It's Modern Men Lost Again. That's what the men might be, right?
Yes, I'm going through panel withdrawals because I used to do this too, but I realized my version of it was just talking shit, so I stopped doing a lot of them, and now I just try to do real life stuff, and then
Well, the funny thing is, your initial reaction was to be kind of like this put on YouTube character, and now you find yourself in an organic conversation against your own will.
That's just how I don't know how it's like a sneeze for me. Whenever I meet somebody new, I can't help myself. I mean, Jack knows. I just don't know how to do it.
You're like Daryl from The Walking Dead. You're like, how many walkers have you killed, and how many people?
I mean, here's the thing, though. I'm good at this. Is where I do this in real life. People might be surprised. Never happens. So I guess I am playing a character here. So we are actors and feds. federal actors.
I feel
That
I'm
modern men lust again, man. It's the hyper masculization, if that's the word, of women, and the feminizing of men have. We're in a world now where guys don't make as much as women. We're considered low value at every turn. We're told that we have privilege, and we're told that we have. I would not want to be. I would not want to be a 25-year-old single man in 2026.
Yeah, no, it's getting, it's not looking pretty. I'll tell you that. That's why I will double down on the network thing, because every opportunity I've ever had has been just somebody I knew. You know what I mean? Whether it's a job or just people move you around when you let them in a good way. Like, because if you like, hey, I can do this, this, and that.
I might see you guys in a bit. My buddy's here. I got to run. Jack, a pleasure. MM, nice to meet you.
My beer is 12 steps away from my hooker.
Appreciate you. Holy cows. That was Ryan, I think he said his name is.
I'm clout chasing again, Jack.
That's all right.
But hey, I want to point it out, right? I didn't even mention my channel. What am I clout chasing? Hey, man, I could be the rapper.
I know.
You got my clout chasing after me.
I know. What was this? Tommy. Blessings to you, brother. I like that guy. I like what he brought. Some quick wit and some pretty conscious, positive messages. Supporting recovery, individual and otherwise. But this path of faith, you mentioned your own challenges, and I don't know the details still, even after our conversations together. I know you had your health issues. Yeah, I know you went through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know what changed it, but something changed.
I kind of know. I mean, it's very bizarre, right? Because it essentially, it is simple. The answer is simple, but it's also like I complicated the hell out of it because it was so dark. And I mean, I don't like to really bring the mood down, but for me, I mean, it was looking at pictures, it was like a different person. I was just looking at these photos. I'll grab one here in a second of when, my daughter was born. I was like, I wasn't even there, because my brain just was, people would always be like, well, is it your brain or is it your stomach? Which one is it, dude? And it would just drive me nuts because I was like, no, you don't understand. Like, I'm aware that it's a digestive thing. There's always, I can sort of feel these correlations with people often are told to get rid of their own sort of understanding of their body and just give it to the doctor. The doctor will tell you. And then when the doctor doesn't know, it's like, they'll just tell you that you're crazy and to take meds to, for your depression and all that. But I mean, it was, I mean, like I've told people this before, I used to fantasize the steel cutting place I was cutting off my fingers. Like every day I would just fantasize about sticking in the machine because I was like, then somebody will feel sympathy for me. Because I felt like, because I was young, nobody took me seriously. When they didn't find cancer, I was like bummed out because I was like, but why? I feel like my brain's not working. But what it really comes down to is I think that I was eating no alive food, right? Most of the food we eat is dead food.
Gotcha.
And that's meat and other things. But really, Greek yogurt is what I do now. But kimchi, whatever, sauerkraut, there's a lot of options. But I really had, it's not like you can just eat a probiotic and then you're done. You have to, your whole thing is to like, it's like an ecosystem, like for real. It's like there's seasons. You can't just skip from summer to spring. So it's all about keeping things moving. But I was always trying to keep it moving, and then it would mess me up even more because I was taking laxatives, and it's a whole thing. I think that laxatives have a really big thing to do with Alzheimer's too. That's my conspiracy theory. Because old people get put on those, and then everyone gets Alzheimer's. It's like they're chronically wiping themselves out. Sorry, I yield.
Hey, the more I have learned what you're saying, yeah, our bodies are truly mysterious. I mean, the more you learn about our body, it is a miracle of how we are designed. There's a perfection to it and a balance that requires chemicals and bacteria and all sorts of stuff for us to be functional. And there's evidence today that the wrong bacterias or the lack of bacterias or parasite infections all those things affect our minds and how we operate, how we think.
We are all different too, which is a big thing about it. Where people always say,
That too.
there's no one solution for all. And actually, when I look at yours, I know I have yours here somewhere. In the concept of human design, there's a segment that talks about the way that you should eat, and it's not what you should eat; it's the condition you should eat. And for me, I learned that it should be in silence and alone. And I've always eaten lunch in my car when I was at different jobs, because I just always feel like there's need to be alone. I don't like family meals; they stress me out. So it makes sense. And I got to see what yours is.
That's interesting. For some, this might work. GTGT. Meditate twice a day for a couple months. Your digestive system will fix itself. I wouldn't suggest by itself the meditation would fix it, but I would certainly say that it could help. It could benefit.
Yeah. It's still that's exactly the kind of thing that people do whenever you have sickness. They talk to you like that. Like, this is the answer. This is what you do. That's it. That's why I'm very hesitant when I even share my story, because it's just like you get so much of people doing that. It drives me nuts.
Isn't that interesting?
It is.
I think that's the pattern of human behavior.
Dude, this is immediately already true, dude. It says that you can tolerate long gaps between meals. Everybody knows that about Jack Talcott. Everybody knows it, dude. It's like, did you eat today? No. Are you gonna? Maybe.
Isn't that interesting? That's what it says in the human design.
Yeah, I have it. It's a screen sharing right now. If you want to pull it up, there's no wieners up there.
Yeah, please.
So it says, this is the most ancient and primitive food system. So it would be determination, consecutive appetite. And then it basically says how, if this is sort of from our ancient ancestors, this specific way of eating, but they could tolerate long gaps between meals. And then they ate a lot of food at once. So the theme core of your digestive system is appetite, which means that you should eat whenever you're hungry. You shouldn't try to eat by the hour follow schedule. It's correct for you to eat seasonal products growing in your area, simply cooked and without sauces and seasoning. Trying to eat simply and observe how your body feels. This is RJ has this one. And you're supposed to only eat one thing at once. So you eat all the rice first, and then you eat all the nuts second. But it's fascinating because for me, it's totally different. And if we were swapped and I said, well, is this true? Because some people doubt this stuff still, they say, oh, it's all just, a bunch of nonsense. It applies to everybody. This would certainly not apply to me. And I mean, I'm not sure if you prefer to eat in silence, but maybe that would apply to you, but you know what I mean?
It is interesting, man. We are all different. And what I found is when I started changing, and 2018, that was my year of transformation. I dropped 60 pounds in just a couple of months, and I wasn't exercising. It was just a change in mindset, change in diet. But I started listening to myself, and that was it. I stopped eating meals, and I was just kind of grazing. I'd eat a little bit here and there when it felt right, and that was it.
I still remember when Cynthia was like, what do you mean you didn't take him out to dinner or lunch or feed him? I was like, I didn't get the 5 he wanted to. He was just like, I got some nuts.
I got some peanuts, man. Peanuts make me happy. I eat a lot of them.
Peanuts make me go nuts. Donuts make me go nuts.
When I was overweight, even after I stopped drinking, I was not eating very healthy. I used to eat a lot of fast food. And like you were saying, the food I was eating was not alive. It was death, really processed. But when I did a guided meditation and started envisioning me healthy and fit. And I tell you what, the next morning, my taste buds had changed. If there was a donut there the day before, I'd have eaten a donut and ignored the fruit, but I went straight for the fruit the next day.
That poor donut.
Hey,
I had a donut today. I'm not gonna lie.
Did you?
Yeah. And it was awesome because here's the thing. For me, there's no issue. Like I kind of learned my body, and I learned like where it leans and when to sort of back off and when to say, like onions, man. No way. I mean, because they're, well, yeah, because what do they call it? It's very high in FODMAPs, right? That's what they say. And there's a reason why many people are asked, like, or if you're at a restaurant, okay, onions okay? They didn't used to ask that. They just throw the onions on there, but now they're like, okay, onions, can you handle it? And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm a weenie.
Wow. I love onions. Hey,
I do too.
Ashton, welcome to you. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. How you guys been?
We're about to fight. I didn't know I wanted to until I saw that profile picture.
That's my uncle and I. Whenever I was like 15, I'm on the right hand side. My uncle's on the left.
Dang. You're big at 15.
Yeah, that was a year before I shattered my collarbone in 20 places and had to get a steel plate and 6 screws put in.
It's what?
I shattered my collarbone at the age of 16, and I had to get a steel plate and 6 screws put into my collarbone.
I'm sure that didn't feel good.
No,
Hey, any thoughts? You joining with ideas, thoughts, questions, concerns?
coming up. I was listening from the background while driving. I was just coming up to see what the good convo was today.
Boy, we've talked about a bunch of things. In the monologue I had, oh, that's right. In the monologue, I hit a bunch of things, but I don't think I did them very clearly. With the topic of breaking down choices and freedoms, talked about the monks for peace and their arrival in DC.
Oh, we didn't talk about that yet. I am going to go see them. Yes,
Beautiful.
100%. I mean, I'm not sure if they're going to talk to me, but my cameraman, who can no longer afford to pay, is in Fort Worth. Maybe he'll be willing to do a freebie for me.
Dude, that would be cool. Like I said, had I thought about it more, maybe I could have just gone down and got some footage, if anything, and contributed to a collaboration. If you're able to make that, I think it would be pretty cool.
Oh, 100%. I wouldn't miss it. Because, I mean, that's the thing is, and there's another concept in human design. It's like the whether or not you're supposed to initiate or wait to respond. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but I am in the waiting. I'm supposed to wait to respond. So, and be receptive to invitations. So I kind of say yes to anything. And that to me felt like an invitation. You sending out to me, hey, this is happening. And I'm like, okay, I'll go.
I'm glad. Here, what we're speaking about, it's the monks who did the 2,300 mile walk from Dallas Fort Worth all the way to Washington DC. That's where they're at today, and I guess they're getting on a bus tomorrow to head back. And so on Saturday the 14th, that's when they're back in Fort Worth, Texas, and they're going to have peace gathering for people to join, and that's what we were talking about there. I think that would be pretty cool. This is history. It is history. It is historical what they're doing, and the message is, I believe, it's pretty well timed for what's going on in this world today.
I want to know. I mean, I'm sorry to read the chat. I know it's not really good practice.
Go ahead.
I want to know what it means. Do I practice a lot of balance, or does it happen naturally? Does that mean is that sarcasm? I'm not really sure how to read that. Balance.
I don't know where you're looking at.
Samsonite. I don't know what Samsonite is. But sorry. I don't meditate or practice anything. I'm really bad at that, to be honest.
I think meditation's a good thing to have in your back pocket whenever you're anxious.
Do you practice a lot of balance, or does that happen naturally?
Maybe it's a compliment. If so, I don't know.
I'm not sure what that means, but not being sarcastic. So perfect. Yeah, I agree. Samsonite doesn't do a lot of harassment from the chat, not from what I've seen.
I'm just projecting.
Seen a lot of positivity. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Dr. D-Head. Hey, we've got a wild card in the back.
Warn me. What is the flavor of the wild card?
Well, it's the one and only. Not many people are doing things the way he's doing
Oh
things.
crap!
Things. So, but now I'm gonna welcome with care, compassion, and kindness and peace, with the hope and trust that it can be returned.
Everything but a timely fucking fashion. I've got things to do, Jack. You're always wasting my time. Finally, Jack,
Right
you've
on
got
cue with the audio.
What?
Please let him go. We'll roll through it.
Is there a
Please.
problem with the audio?
No.
It's just loud.
Okay. Jack, finally, you get a win. Those fucking idiot monks walked all the way across this country to do the same nothing to end wars that you're doing sitting on your ass every day.
No, they're walking. They're
Oh, yeah, they're walking. They're walking like it's a Lord of the Rings trilogy. What did it do? What did it do? Gave Senpai like 3 minutes of something to talk about. Gave you a daily little mention. They ain't doing shit. They're in a delusion. They're deceptive. Fucking Buddhism, please.
You're mistaken, dude. They've practiced. They've explained themselves repeatedly.
That
and if
is not accurate.
It's like we're inside of his Dakota.
I got ripped off by them in their little prayer book in Vegas too. We know their game. They just want to build their temple.
no,
They say write your prayer in the prayer book, but no, it looks like everybody's written peace and whatever, and like, and then he's looking at you like, you got to write that too. I'm like, wait, my prayer has to be the one that you're telling everybody to pick. That's not. I pay like $50, $25. How much do they charge? Give me a bead necklace.
this is a different path. These monks were specifically out there demonstrating walking prayer, right?
They were
Active
walking.
prayer. Yes.
What war did it end?
Well, they demonstrated peace. Every city, every place they went, they spoke and promoted peace. Their message was peace, kindness, and compassion.
And you sit on your ass and have that message. Why'd they have to walk across the country?
They're better than me. Does that make you feel better?
No, I think you're all shit.
It takes a man to say that.
They're better at, and they're probably better at hand-to-hand fisticuffs than you. Yes, probably have some kind of iron fist technique.
Why do you always got to be so negative?
Thank
Who
you.
is that?
That's a great question. It was someone who asked.
Oh, it's fucking. What is it? I call him fucking anal wine. It's anal wine. I should have known. I heard him talking about the picture of him and his uncle or whatever.
So can you answer the question?
I want to read you a little something out of the Fireman's Bible, Jack.
The Fireman's Bible.
It's just a.
Don't disgrace that Bible, Tommy.
The fuck's that supposed to mean, anal wine?
What, Tom? The question was, why are you so hostile?
I don't acknowledge that trailer-dwelling Antichrist spirit that supports Jack Talcott. I want to read you something.
You possess it. It possesses you.
No, wait, Jack, I don't know where you've been. We don't play this That's You game anymore. It doesn't work. It doesn't fly.
That's because you're in denial.
No, you have to say the thing that is that's you. Like, you don't say that's you. You say how I'm the thing.
I just did.
No, you're in denial. You're just blanket statementing.
That's you.
See, that means nothing. Means nothing. Means nothing, Jack. This is why you're nothing. This is why the Tibetan monks are challenging you for nothing.
Hold on. Wait. What does it mean to be nothing?
Oh, we'd have to get Atreyu and name the princess and get a loudmouth dragon. Oh, you'd have to get a whole thing together to define the nothing.
Do they have like a new flavor of root beer today? This is a new Tommy.
It's not a new Tommy. It's always a new panel verse to you, Landry, as we always watch you discover it for the first time every time. Trying to find this fucking passage.
I don't know, man. Here's what I got to make a bold statement here. Jack, I think you've kind of exited the panel verse and sort of now you stand on top of it.
The panel verse is dispersing. Yes, it's
I don't know.
The panel verse sucks because of you and viewers like them.
Tom,
And DJing.
Tom, what are you sharing? Please.
He's
I'm
sharing
fine.
his great. This is what the panelverse needs: is more Tommy.
It's not going to get it. I've digressed. I've digressed from a lot of streaming. I'm almost there, Jack. Just chill. Just do filler. Say peace and love like that.
Okay. Yes, peace and love are available. And when you recognize that the Antichrist spirit within you denies the
There's
peace
no
and love,
Antichrist spirit in me.
that's
you.
See, there's your denial again. You're just blanket.
You can't prove. You can't define that. You can't define your claim.
Tom, if you looked at your behavior,
My behavior is fine.
you're not denying what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying because you're a broad stroke nothingness.
Johnny, you're a negative Nancy with a chip on your shoulder because you're homeless. Go find out.
Hey, wait! I got one thing to tell
If you
you.
want to be a liar and
Tommy.
false witness, go for it. Lean into it.
Before I go, I want to tell you, I'm going to go to church, and I'm going to ask them what they think about my two favorite Christians. Goodbye.
Well, you're probably going to an apostate church. It's probably got a tranny at the pulpit. Hard to tell what kind of church Landry feels all warm and fuzzy yet.
Why do you assume the worst? What is wrong with you?
I'm just a realist. There's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with you. So, Jack, whenever I asked you to cite in the good book where it says to end all wars, you just cited a passage about loving your enemy, and you interpreted that as end wars. Deuteronomy chapter 20 is literally rules for war. If you're giving rules for war, why would you be ending wars? As far as the God book. When you go out to war against, I don't have my readers on, against your enemies and see horses, chariots, and an army larger than yours, do not be afraid of them. For the Lord your God who brought you out of the, it goes on telling you.
Which chapter and verse is that in, Tommy? Of
Deuteronomy, the entire chapter 20 of Deuteronomy.
Entire chapter 20 of
Deuteronomy.
Sure. Let me pull up my Bible here real quick and prove you wrong.
Yeah, take the little Chippendale bookmarks out of it. It's fucking heresy.
What about heresy?
Your little Chippendales stripper of bookmarks, it's stupid. It's gay.
I'm a Chippendales bookmark? What? That's not even legible, bud.
There we go.
Trailer monkey.
You said chapter 20, correct?
Mm-hmm. Now, granted, this is a new edition. I've never read the Christian Standard. It does have the English flowing a little more modern English than your KJV.
How about this from Isaiah 11:6? The wolf will live with the lamb. The leopard will lie down with the goat. The calf and the lion and the yearling together. Huh?
Yeah, that's after Jesus comes back. Yeah, that's once again not Jack Talcott anymore.
Well, believe that Jesus is here, and
Nope,
you'll know
he's
it.
not.
You'll know it.
He's not.
Why do you're in denial? This is
No.
what I mean.
See, you almost did the right thing and just asked the question, Jack, and then you stopped short and made a claim. That's why you're garbage. I know Jesus isn't here because that's why we have the Holy Spirit. If Jesus was here, we wouldn't need the Holy Spirit. Jesus will come back because it's not a mindset. It's not a wave of awe-inspiring. He is a guy that will come back.
Great. Pause, please. I want to thank Ruby and those who came over for the raid. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're just getting into some interesting scripture discussions. I muted you for a moment, Tom.
I know. I was asking why.
So I could get you to shut up.
Oh, so I'm not allowed to talk on your Chats with Jack show?
No, so I could get heard. And so I could think.
Well, here's the thing. The reason you don't get heard is because you ain't got a lot to say, Jack.
I actually do. What I was saying
a lot of looping nothingness, yeah.
Whenever
you feel pushed to the back, it's because people are just rolling and you got nothing to contribute.
Oh, Tom. How about this? Let's calm down. We don't have to argue.
I'm calm. See, don't gaslight me.
Can I please finish a thought?
Make a thought.
I'm going to slow us down. Let's slow down with me. I know that we can have a
I'm already
conversation.
laughing, you Jack.
I know, but you don't have to.
God doesn't tell us to end wars.
There is
Let's
no battle.
stop right there. Let's slow down. Let's pause right there. God's not telling us to end wars, Jack.
No, that's what you're saying. Okay?
No, he didn't say.
Can I participate in the conversation?
I know you're going to try and find something to make you correct because you just want to be correct. God never told us to end wars.
With God, there is no battle. The battle has
There
won.
are.
The battle is God.
See, this is your word gymnastics. God is love. You love
Yes.
prostitutes.
God is
Prostitutes
love.
are God.
Tell you what, God is love, and those who, where is that? I think I had that.
He's more than that, Jack.
God bless you. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever
God,
loves
you're really
is born of
wearing
God
that
and
down.
knows God. Anyone who does not love,
Jack, you
God
don't
is
love.
love.
Jack, you
God
just
is-
say it, and then your behavior shows that you don't really love a lot of these people around here. Look at
Please
Chuck.
be honest. Please
Chuck
be
is
honest.
Chuck is your mirror or whatever that shit is you guys talking about. Chuck comes up here, you can be in your best Talcott mood. Chuck just says, "Hi, Jack," and you're like off to the races.
Chuck is in your head, not here. Please.
No, I'm referencing Chuck because every time he comes up, you flip caught.
Hey, Jack. Can I address this Deuteronomy?
Please do. I
With
bounced
this
off.
from chapter 20.
I can't hear him.
Yeah, something happened. Let's turn
Jack's
you up.
probably messing with your volume. He does that.
I did
Can you
not.
hear me now?
Try to unmute. I want to turn you up or something.
Testing.
Wants to turn you on.
I'm going to turn you up. How about now?
Good, buddy.
Go ahead. I've got you all the way up now, and I'm not sure why it's not coming through.
Let me hop out and then I'll hop back in.
All right. Beautiful. Thank you.
Just try and leave. Just try and leave.
Tom,
He doesn't come back. I don't like him. You're enabling his life.
anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love.
Oh yeah, we all love Jack, just not you. Not you.
Can you hear me better now?
It's not better. I don't know
At
what
least he says
happened.
it nice. At least Jack says it nice to you. He tells me my audio is terrible because he wants everybody to think of things. He's very leading of his
Testing.
audience.
Can you please step back while
Testing.
Slide to the left.
Go ahead, Ashton.
Slide to the right.
So, Tommy, if you'd like to cha-cha slide your bitch ass on down to the Deuteronomy lesson. So, in Deuteronomy,
What else?
in Deuteronomy, when God is speaking about the land of Israel and the battles that are being prepared for, he's also saying to on them, like in Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 10, when thou comest nigh onto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. So you're fighting against evil to then thus proclaim the peace of that city or town in the righteousness of God, to spread his word and his gospel, to also show love and understanding to those of which you just rescued from evil.
Now, what part of that says end all wars?
All of it, okay. End all wars is just a term to help bring peace onto a nation or bring peace into the world.
That's not what Jack's saying. Jack's saying end all world conflicts.
And I'm trying not to speak on Jack. I'm speaking on behalf of myself. I'm not Jack Talcott. I cannot speak.
Okay, get your narcissistic. Wait, then butt on out.
Did your mouth run out, Tommy?
Oh, homeless, meth addict. You want to go with pedo next? Trailer boy?
Tom,
If you'd allow me to finish a fucking sentence.
Tommy, you're enabling.
go ahead and finish your statement, please. I'll put Tom in the back until you're done.
So, what I think you mean by now this, like I said, this is from my own definition, Jack. It's not from anything.
Actually, your audio is not working. It is so hard to hear you. And Tommy was hearing you, but as soon as I put him in the back, he took off. Here. And I'm sorry to do that. I want to hear what you're saying, and I would love to see what's going on. Nobody puts Tommy in the back. Holy cows, man. Holy cows. Praise be. Tom, your opinions are not helpful, okay? Because your arguments, I'm not sure what you're trying to accomplish. And this is what's been so difficult. You know what? This is one of my favorite parts of the Bible, right? 1 John. God is love. And seriously, just allow these words to be true. The commandment of Jesus, whether he's here or gone, is for us to be with love. Love God with all your mind, all your heart, all your spirit, all your being, right? While you're here, be with love. And then love one another as yourself. Love yourself as others. Beloved, let us love one another, for love is from God, and whoever loves has been born of God and knows God. Anyone who does not love does not know God, because God is love. In this, the love of God was made manifest among us, that God sent his only Son into the world so that we might live through him. Live through him. Jesus can live through you. Jesus can live through us. We live through him. It's a mutual relationship. We can be bound together. In this is love. Not that we have loved God, but that he loved us and sent his Son to be the propitiation for our sins. I don't know that word. I have to look that up. Beloved, if God so loved us, we also ought to love one another. No one has ever seen God. If we love one another, God abides in us, and his love is perfected in us. And that is what the message and the example of Jesus was. He was perfected in love. He brought to mankind, to humanity, the truth of God, the truth of our Father. Our Father God is who we are to be worshiping. We've got so many people today worshiping the government, worshiping the regulations, worshiping the dollar, worshiping their ideas, worshiping themselves. We're here to be with God, and to be with God is to be with love. And if you can invite Jesus to be with you, that is the message. As Jesus walked, he and the Father were one, right? And we can be one with Christ. We can be one with the new perfection. That is what Jesus is and was. And I truly believe that the appropriate interpretation is that God's love is eternal. It's never absent. Not one moment, not 1 second is God's love absent from this world. It's always available. Now, are we aware of it? Are we united with God's love? Not necessarily. But God, by all grace, has given us the freedom to choose, the freedom to know, the freedom to ignore, the freedom to deny. What do you want? I know what I want. I want love to be with us. And truly, please don't mistake my passion. Okay? My passion comes through when I talk about love. It's not anger. Although, you know what? That's actually been a pattern for me. I've been called angry when my passion comes through, when my emotions come through. So maybe I can limit my emotion and my passion, but something about old Jack, I realized it. I learned from my cat. I learned a lot from my pets, from my cats. I love fiercely. That is how I love. And my love, sometimes it comes through clumsy, sometimes it comes through the wrong direction, but my love is real. And I know that God's love is real. And the example of Jesus that I know, it shows and proves that love overcomes. Love overcomes this world. Love is eternal. The name of Jesus, Yeshua, will be eternal in this timeline. It's made it this long. It has not faded into history. It's been spread throughout the world. Now, do people understand the messages? No, they do not. Why? Because God created us, and mankind created and allowed the confusion. We are God-like. This was a thought I was playing with earlier. We are God-like in that God has created and allowed all things to be. And throughout time, mankind has created and allowed things to be. Mankind has created the governments, the economics, the religions. We've created these things that have limited and controlled and divided each other. I see a path in the future when we choose and God allows, we will unite together. And when we unite together, this world will be filled with peace. I do have a couple of unfamiliar guests in the background. They've not cammed up. I notice we're nearing the 2-hour mark. We've got a number of people here. I'm grateful for everyone who is here, but I'm thinking it's time to start wrapping up. Chuck, you find all sorts of opinions and limitations, and congratulations. I found that as well. I don't try to force love upon anyone. I don't try to force anything upon anyone anymore. At least I'm working towards that way. I've been a big fan silently. Just wanted to hop on with gratitude. Tell you what, I'm going to wrap it up here. Brothers and sisters, sincerely, thank you. The ideas of today were breaking down choices and freedoms, and I want to remind, especially in the end, I got a little preachy, got a little passionate, wanted to share some thoughts on love, because if we can choose love freely, we can share love freely, and then that creates greater freedoms for us all. And I see in the future I see of mankind, it's one direction. We unite together where peace, kindness, and compassion rule this world, where we all freely choose righteousness. Righteousness leads to love, and love leads to righteousness, and it's two that go together. Bring them up, it says. I suspect I know who it was, and they didn't cam up, so I'm trusting it's safer for me not to. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. Please stay tuned. The next time I'm planning right now, probably Friday, we'll be back, but stay tuned. Keep the notifications going, and we'll see what happens next. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. Thank you again, and God bless us all. To all the guests as well, God bless. Peace.